So, good morning, students. Today we will continue our previous topic, which is the control structure. In the previous class, we have discussed the for loop, and in today's class, we will discuss the while loop. And these both loop are the part of control structure. And as we have already discussed that the control structures can be of two type. One, that is the loops, and second, that is the conditions or branching structures. So about the branching structure we will discuss in another classes, and for today we will discuss the while loop. The loop is simply the structure which helps to run any statements or any bulk of statements multiple times, as we have seen these in for loop. So students, today you need to be more careful because while loop having some different structure than the for loop, but the final output or the final execution strategy of the while loop is the same as the for loop. If you see this image carefully, you will find that the structure of the while loop I have written in the red ink. So first, see the output of the loop, and 1 2 3, this is our expected output. That means we want to just display consecutive number starting from 1 and up to 3. So to print these number we have written a code. This is a 4-line code that will print the 1 2 3. So let's see how this code run. So first line I have written that I equal to 1. That over here I is nothing, just a simple variable, and further I will pronounce it as a counter variable. Counter variable because it will count the number of times of loop. That means it will count the each pass of loop. Over here I is equal to 1, that I have initialized the counter variable 1. That means I am going to count any numbers, and that will start from 1. And if you see the second line, I have written that while I less than equal to 3, and after that I have written a column. In this case, the I less than 3 less than equal to 3 is known as a condition. After initializing of counter variable, the compiler will check the condition for the while loop. If the condition is true, then the body of loop will execute. In this case, the body of loop is this one. That means it has the two instructions, that is the print I, and the next instruction is the I equal to I plus 1. So when compiler just compute these conditions, which is the I less than equal to 3, if it returns true, the body of loop will run, otherwise the body of loop will not run. In this case, the value of I is 1, and 1 is less than or equal to 3, and this condition is true. Therefore the print I and I equal to I plus 1 statement will execute. So print I, the value of I is 1, so 1 will be printed, and the I equal to I plus 1 will increments the value of I by 1. Now again the conditions of this one, I less than equal to 3, will be checked. Now the I have become 2, so 2 less than equal to 3, the condition is true. Therefore again the print I statement will be run, and it will print value 2, and the I equal to I plus 1 again increments the value of I by 1, and now it become 3, and again this condition will be checked. Okay, so 3 less than equal to 3, the condition is true, because over here I may be less than or may be equal to 3. So the other condition 3 equal to 3 is true, therefore the print I will print the value of I, and in this case the value of I is 3. So in this pass the print statement will print 3. Again the value of I will be incremented, and now it become 4, and again the condition will be checked, and in this case the 4 I have become 4, and the 4 less than equal to 3, the condition is false, therefore this body of loop will not execute in this pass. So over here total 3 passes have been run, and each pass have given the value of I, which is the 1 2 3. So therefore our output will be 1 2 3. We'll learn some more about the while loop in next slide. Let's see over here. I have again initialized the counter variable with the value 0. So and the condition is over here I less than equal to 4, means it will execute the loop or body of the loop till the value of I remains less than 4. Over here the value of the print I statement will print value 0, because the value of I initially is 0, and then I will get incremented by 1 and it become 1, and again the condition is checked, and in this case 1 is less than 4, condition true, and it will print 1, and till 3 it will printed as it is, because 3 is less than 4, the condition is true, and in this pass the end of fourth pass the I become 4. Now 4 less than 4, this condition will be checked in our fifth pass, because in the previous 4 pass it have printed 0 1 2 3, and in the fifth pass the value of I have become 4, and 4 less than 4, the condition is true. We know that 4 is equal to 4, this condition may be true, but over here the 4 is less than 4, the condition is false, therefore in this case the fifth pass where the value of I is 4 will not be printed here. We can learn about the while loop in some next slide, and in this case I have just incremented, if you see carefully I have just incremented the value of I with 2, means in each pass the value of I will get incremented by 2. So the initial value is the 2, and the condition is I less than equal to 10, means this loop will run till the I remains either less than 10 or it become 10, but if it become more than 10, the body of loop will not execute. So in the first pass the value of I is 2, therefore it will be printed true, and it get incremented by 2, it become 4, and it will print 4, and again it will incremented by 2, so it will print 6, and again it will be incremented by 2, it become 8, and it will print 8, and in this phase after the fourth pass it become 10, and therefore it will print 10. But in the next pass, that is the sixth pass, the value of I become 12, and in this case 12 less than equal to 10, the condition is false, therefore in this time the body of loop will not execute. Okay, so these are some examples we have discussed with the while loop. Let's see formally what is the structure of the while loop. So over here we need to remember the 3 things. What are those 3 things? Whatever the counter variable we will use in the while loop, it must be initialized with a specific or defined value. Okay, this is the condition 1 that you need to remember. In the second case, there a condition should be mentioned. That means till the condition remains true, the body of loop will execute, otherwise the body of loop will not execute. Getting? And the third and most important case over there, the students or generally make mistake, they forget to mention any updation. That is the updation to the counter variable. Getting? Means in each pass, after each pass, the counter variable must be updated. Either it may be incremented or may be decremented. So I hope you got all these points. Let me explain again in the brief. You need to remember three things while using the structure of the while loop. First, the initial value, second the condition, and the third is the updation value, updation of the counter value. Okay, so if you notice, I have written the point, the counter variable must be initialized outside and updated inside. Whenever we declare any counter variable for while loop, it must be outside or at the starting of the loop. It cannot be inside the loop. And now we have some another examples. Let's see, I have used a while loop to print just reverse number. So in reverse number we need to go downward, that is the I have initialized the value of I, that is with the 4, and if you just see the carefully the condition, I have given the condition the value of I greater than equal to 1, means the condition will be true till the I remains more than or equal to 1. That means for 4, 3, 2 and 1 it will true, and if it become 0 the condition fails and loop will stop. So over here I have printed the value of I, and first iteration it will be printed, that is the 4, and in the updation statement, that is the important thing, in the updation statement I have given the value I equal to I minus 1. That means the value of I will be decremented or will be subtracted by 1, and now in this case from 4 I become 3, and 3 again the condition will be checked, and 3 is greater than or equal to 1, the condition is true, and the print I statement will print 3, and again the I will get decremented by 1 and it become 2, and for 2 again the condition is true, so therefore it will be printed 2, and again it get decremented and it become 1, and for 1 greater than equal to, the condition is true. Yes, 1 greater than equal to 1, the condition is true, because either it may be greater than or greater than 1, or it may be equal to 1. So in the second condition it is equal to 1, therefore the condition is true, means this is either this condition may be satisfied or either this condition may be satisfied. It is read as greater than or equal to, not greater than and equal to, means either it may be greater than or it may be equal to. So in the fourth pass it will print 1, and at the end of fourth pass the I will be decremented by 1 and it become 0. Now in this case 0 greater than equal to 1, this conditions get failed, so the body of loop will not execute, and in this case 0 will not be printed. So in this slide we have seen how to use the while loop to print the reverse number. And as we have if you remember, we have printed the same using the for loop, where we have given the step value minus 1 with the range function. You may just brush up your this concept with the for loop by just viewing the previous day video. So for today that's all, student, and in the next video we'll continue with the control structure, and we'll study a brief concept of the branching structure or condition structure, or also known as a select statement. So in next video we'll study the if else statements. So till then, bye bye.